Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're talking about the feat, Plane Wanderer.
I don't know if this is a man walking on top of a plane or a man walking across, just like aimlessly venturing across some geometric, just three-dimensional plane in Unity or something, or just walking between worlds. It could be all those things.
I suspect it's walking between worlds.
I guess that could be it. That might be the flavor here. This requires fourth level Side of the Outer Planes feat, which is it's got baggage. So Side of the Outer Planes comes with backgrounds in the Planescape book Sigil and the Outlands. So if you're getting it for free, this is kind of a fourth level thing that you can pick up as an expansion to that. If you're not getting that feat for free with your background, it costs you 2 feats to get here, and you don't want to have to spend 2 feats to get here, generally speaking. So what you get. You can draw on the forces of the multiverse to survive cosmic extremes and traverse its infinite realms, granting you these benefits. Planar adaptation. So this says when you finish a long rest, you gain resistance to either acid, cold, or fire damage. Your choice until you finish your next long rest. I like that text as far as resistance goes. It's kind of like meaningful resistance to 3 different things. It's a lot better than obviously just one, and you get to pick and change it as the environment calls for it. Nifty. The other thing you get is called Portal Cracker. Your experience with portals allows you to open them without a portal key, which is a thing that in Sigil in the Outlands and Planescape is objects that are associated with portals that are basically bound to them that open them. As an action, you can concentrate on a portal you're aware of that is within 5 feet of you and make a DC 20 Arcana check. On a failed save, you take 3d8 psychic damage and can't use this ability again on that portal until you finish a long rest. So right now, you have the ability to make a check, and or a DC 20 Arcana check, and if you fail it, you are electrically shocked in the brain. On a successful check, you can force a portal to open or close for an hour. For that duration, the portal doesn't respond to its portal key unless a creature employing the key succeeds in the DC 20 Intelligence Arcana check as an action. So here's the problem. The first line of text is not enough to justify taking this on its own merit, and the second line of text is a thing that probably should just be how portals work, and not something that I would have attached to a feat. I don't think I mentioned that in my review of it, but I think this makes more sense as just the portal rules than it does attached to this specific feat.
But it's, I haven't read the portal rules, but I have to assume that's not how they work.
There aren't really portal rules, is the larger problem. There's a couple paragraphs about the flavor of them and portal keys a little bit, but like this to me seems like pretty important text for running portals, and it's here instead in a feat buried in Sigil in the Outlands that maybe only the players end up learning about.
So I guess we take for granted then that to open a portal, you need a portal key, typically.
Yes, typically you are required to have a portal key to open a portal.
All right, I think the value of this feat is going to largely depend on how many portals you're likely to come across. Which would...
I don't even know if that's true. This thing is DC 20.
Yeah.
Well, okay, let's say there are 2 classes in this game that have high ends, and they are wizards and they are artificers, okay? Then neither of those artificers might get expertise. Let me check. But you're stuck in a world where wizards are getting to get like a +5, maybe a +6 or 7 in the mid tiers to their Arcana checks.
Okay.
If you have this feat, you are more likely to fail that check than to pass it. And when you do fail the check, you shock yourself for 3d8 damage and you can't try again.
That's a gamble.
But like, most of the time you're losing that bet. So you're taking a feat that says most of the time if you try to do this, you will fail. I don't want that ability on my character sheet. if Great Weapon Master were...
you're going to pass sometimes, and if that's valuable, then okay. What gets me, though...
How often do you need to crack these portals?
Well, I don't know. I haven't played a lot of portal games, but I mean, if you're in Sigil, maybe, that's a big deal. My bigger question though comes at the last line. The portal doesn't respond to its... All right, they have to have the portal key, and then they still have to make the intelligence check, but they don't get shocked.
Yes,
for failing.
I'm really close to saying this is unusable. I really don't think
It's not
even in
unusable because there's still value in the first part with the planar adaptation.
I'm
And
not
that
taking a feat that gives me one of those three resistances. I'm just not. Like, yes, it's nice that you can pick between them, but are you taking a whole feat that's only job is to give you one of these three still niche damage resistances?
absolutely not, but it's not unusable. There's a little value to it.
This doesn't even come with a +1.
No,
And you have to have a prereq feat for this.
look, I'm not saying I'm ever going to take it. I'm just saying it is off the one scale for me.
I'm not there yet.
No,
I don't think getting one of these damage resistances, if it were attached to a powerful feature, I would get it, but it's not. It's attached to a non-feature in my mind. Like, how many times in a game are you going to have to try and crack a portal for it A to succeed and B to justify taking this? Right?
in a typical game, 0 times.
In a game in Sigil in the Outlands, you're not in Sigil the whole time. And when you are, your DM normally has places they want you to go that you're going to have access to the portals to get to. Maybe once or twice you have to find a portal key. You can go, actually, I can circumnavigate this sometimes. And you try and crack it. Or you sit there for 5 hours and let your brain burn alive. And you're just like, oh, great, 3d8 damage, 3d8 damage, 3d8 damage. All right, got that time. Like, I don't see that as a great alternative to just not having to take this feat and like pursuing the rest of a regular build. Like if you're on this is a Wizard Artificer almost exclusive feat because it requires me to Arcana check at all. Every other character doesn't want to be anywhere near this because you don't have a +5 int on almost any other character that exists.
Now you've got a friend with guidance. You've got some means of getting advantage. How do your odds go up then?
Okay, so guidance adds roughly 2.5 to your outcome. If we're talking about a 4th level character with +3 in and a +2 proficiency bonus, we start with a +5. So right now we're at a 7.5 mod on top of our d20 roll. If we talked about advantage, then advantage skews it so that your odds of rolling lower dice are substantially lower and your odds of rolling higher dice are substantially higher. It is often equated to around a +3, which isn't exactly what happens with advantage, but if we're for the sake of doing this quickly, we can say, all right, it equates to about a +3. Then with guidance and having someone give you the help action in a meaningful way that your DM's like, yes, that makes sense, you're still looking at a 50-50.
All right, that's not amazing, but
Sure,
it's something.
what if you're in a rush? What if you're like, we need to get through a portal? That's when I would expect this kind of thing to work. And you just go, well, we don't have time to get guided because I'm running and we're in initiative. I don't have time to get the help action because we're running and I'm in initiative. So I go for a 1/4 chance to crack open this thing. And then if I fail, I get shot in the head and then I get murdered faster because I took 3d8 psychic damage.
Well,
So this
that's
is
part of the
only
fun of
usable
the
in
game.
out-of-combat exploration?
I don't know. The planar adaptation for me is enough to bump it to a 2. Still, I'm not going to use it. If you're in Sigil, you're doing portal stuff all the time, then Portal Cracker, I can see windows where that would come in handy.
Like, let's take a brief second and step back.
Yeah.
You said
Okay.
if you're in Sigil, being in an environment where there are portals doesn't necessitate you going through a lot of portals.
No,
Whenever an adventure starts, you will often be going through a portal. The excitement of Sigil in the Outlands and seeing these varying things in Planescape is you go from one plane to another to adventure there, and then you come back and then go to a different plane. It's kind of adventure of the week, right? You're in the Beastlands one week, you're on Mount Celestia the next week, you're in Avernus the next week, right? None of that necessitates this. None of it does.
Yeah.
You can play in Sigil in the Outlands and never need Portal Cracker. Portal Cracker is like, we talked about a cantrip recently, the one that brings the Mind Whisper thing, that brings out the wisps of intelligence. That's really cool conceptually. Like, I think this is exactly the same. Really cool conceptually, but there aren't real games that engage with this. Like, there aren't going to be even places in Sigil, even people that are playing the campaign out of the box are going to look at this and go, well, I've never had an opportunity for this to do anything because I'm going through the portals that we're supposed to go through. I'm following the adventure to go where we need to be going. I'm going through the different places in the Outlands and not using any portals nor having any need to crack them.
Probably. I mean, I'm talking out of my ass here. I've never played this. Never had an experience with portals.
And for what it's worth, I've only read the book. I just am very, very much so struggling to see a real world where this is being used like more than twice a campaign, if that. And then you're most likely to fail it both times. That seems awful to me.
Yeah.
This seems like a bait.
It's not, like I said, it's not something I'm ever going to take, but it
You still
passes
believe
the
enough to give
test.
it a 2?
It passes the test of doing something.
I'm moving this one. I don't think the damage
That's
resistance is
fine.
worth anything. I think
I
that
think
this
it's
feat,
worth-
like,
I mean,
is it worth having your background be dedicated to Scion on the Outer Planes? Is it worth
No.
a prereq fee before
No.
this too?
No, absolutely not. But it's not nothing. You know, if you travel in different environments and you know you're going to be going up against creatures of fire or ice or whatever, then yeah, you might be happy. It might save your butt a couple times. But I'll never know.
I think given all the context around this, this still deserves a 1. While you are technically right, and that damage resistance is something, the context of how you get this never makes it worth it.
No.
1 out of 5. Utter trash.
Yeah, unenthusiastic too.
That's
All right. Well, that was Plain Wanderer. It feels like it could have been cool.
100% agree.
All right. Well, thank you, Sam, and thank you everyone for joining us. That other stuff I say. Oh yeah, let us know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, informative, or entertaining, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button below. You needn't smash it. A gentle tap will suffice. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you check out the links in the description, where you'll find my Caverns Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels, Sam's full review of the spell, and other fun things.